A little bit later. Top story this hour now. Thousands of ANC supporters are at Burgers Park in Pretoria, and they're gearing up for a march to the union buildings where they will hand over an anti-racism memorandum. Party members, led by the Secretary General Gwede Mantashe, are marching for unity, non-racialism and democracy. Now, for the latest on the ANC Anti-Racism Unity March, let's now cross live to our reporter in Pretoria, Tumaole Mohlaoli. Tumaole, once again, a very good morning to you. Paint us a picture of currently what has happened since the last time we crossed to you. Tumaole, are you still there? We just want to see if we can get hold of Tumaole to give us the latest where he is. As you know, that he is at the march where they are starting the march right now. We're just waiting for that march to kick off and find out what is currently happening there. Tumaole, a very good morning once again. Can you tell us what is happening now since we crossed to you the last time?
Very good morning to you, Elvis. As I speak to you, the procession here from Burgers Park in the Pretoria CBD is making its way towards the union buildings, and there are multitudes of ANC supporters who are now sweeping through Pretoria CBD streets, clad in party regalia, the green, black and gold. Earlier we spoke to some high-profile as well as ordinary members of the public as well as ANC supporters who have come out to support the march. Earlier I spoke to Minister of Home Affairs Malusi Kigaba, who's here in his capacity as NEC member, and he just reiterated that South Africa is a country that has no space for racism, just reminding the viewers and reminding me that of course government is working towards passing legislation that will officially ban or criminalize racism. So this was the message from Minister Kigaba. I then also asked him to speak in his capacity as a government minister of Home Affairs, and he said that, look, South Africa remains a choice destination not only for tourists from Europe but from around SADC, because it is seen as a very harmonized society. So racism really has no place in the country, and it impacts negatively on the image of the country. But he reiterated that march like today's march is to send a clear message to government that government needs to up the stakes in order to ensure that racism has no place in South Africa, because it will have a negative knock-on effect. We've seen some very, very unsavory outbursts, racial slurs that have hit the public eye through high-profile media attention being thrust on them. Issues like, of course, the Penny Sparrow saga, etc., that have dominated the headlines and left a very bad image in terms of race relations in South Africa. So this march is to say no to racism. Earlier, I also spoke to ordinary members and ordinary supporters who said they are here to show their support for a non-racial society, which is what is enshrined in South Africa's constitution, and therefore this is what the march is about. So as I speak to you now, they are making their way through towards the union buildings. A very lively, very loud a bunch of ANC supporters from right across the country. People coming having been bussed in from Northwest Province, from the northern part of the country, Limpopo, as well as various parts of the country, as well as all around Gauteng, and representing the various leagues of the ruling party, the ANC. We have the Women's League well represented. We have members of the Youth League represented, as well as supporters of the Mother Body. And everyone speaks in one voice saying that no to racism. So as we speak to you now, they're making their way towards the union buildings. Elvis?
I believe that we were going to have thousands of people for this particular march. What does the number suggest at this point in time?
Well, the numbers, according to ANC officials here, number well over 5,000. This is the figures that I received when I earlier just tried to double check the numbers. But I mean, if you look out into the streets as well, it is just a sea of green, black and gold. So an official number is not being reached as of yet. People continue to arrive as I speak to you. Moments earlier, buses were parked outside the Burgers Park where I am at the moment, coming in from various parts of the province. And I'm told from other provinces, and as the supporters arrived here, they were cheered on by their fellow ANC members and ANC supporters. So the numbers continue to swell. If you go out towards the main road just opposite Burgers Park, you can see the column of marchers, the sea of ANC supporters making their way towards the union buildings stretches out for about 60 meters 60 to 100 meters. And when you look across the street, all sides are packed to the brim. So these are the numbers that I put to you right now. An estimate of above 5,000, between 5,000 and 10,000. And that is even a very, very, low estimate. Officials are saying that they expect more people to come. So they're putting the ballpark at well over 15,000, which is what is expected. But we'll see as the day goes on.
What are the people saying behind you? What sort of struggle songs or songs of liberty will they be singing on this day today? Can you check with them?
I'll certainly do that, Elvis. I think it'll be a good idea to just let them speak for themselves. Let me turn right here. Ma, thank you very much for speaking to us. What kind of struggles have you faced with racism in South Africa, and why was it important for you to come to the march?
Fortunately enough, Ntate, I'm the victim of the apartheid, and I've been struggling, living in poverty, oppressed, educationally, financially, and socially, as well as economically. But today, we are free because we can live wherever we want to, and our children can go to schools. Like in the past, they were not allowed to go to the white schools. But nowadays, there is no racism. We are all the rainbow nation. I thank you.
No, thank you very much. And what do you think, my brother, about the state of race relations in South Africa? Do you think racism is still alive?
Yeah, at some point, as we see on the Facebooks, on some other sort of the other people that they are doing it, ANC as the ruling party will have to dig them and take them out. If we find out that they are on the party that is ruling, they must go out of the party and be out of the party at all. Then the part that just helping the racism, then we must deal with it. Because we don't want that thing we've buried in 1994, is what I can say.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So these are the sentiments from some of the people who have come out here, ANC supporters who have come to join the march, basically reiterating the message, the overall theme of today's march, which is against racism. Many saying no to racism, many saying they are still committed to the vision and the ideals of a rainbow nation. So a very reconciliatory message. Of course, one of the speakers here again touching on the point that despite the various outbursts, racially intolerant outbursts that have been seen in social media, particularly that grab the headlines, many people still committed to the idea of a united South Africa, and this is why they're out here to march through Pretoria. Back to you, Elvis.
Ole, thank you so much for that update, and we'll bring you the latest as well as we continue during the course of the day. So stay tuned to your favorite channel of choice, Channel 404. This is Newsroom.